Good morning, good Monday morning, and it's mindfulness on Monday. You know the drill, and I'd love to welcome Suné. Hello, Suné.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, afternoon. Sorry, it's exactly afternoon. So, yeah, good afternoon.
I said good morning. Well, it was morning when I said it. There you go.
Yeah, a
So,
minute.
we're still on this topic of mindful eating, and since we spoke, 2 weeks has passed. You know, time doesn't half fly when you're having a busy time,
Yeah,
and so I have been thinking a little bit more about the process,
yeah,
and sometimes I find that I do eat when I'm not hungry. Uh, but this is partly because when I'm teaching in the evenings, I know that if I don't eat before, then it kind of
yeah,
is a bit late afterwards.
yeah,
So anyway, but yeah. So that whole idea of eating the things you need when you need them,
yeah,
that still is a little bit of an anomaly for me because if you speak in what is it my body is calling for, and it's not usually the thing that I should be eating.
yeah.
So I have trouble with that. Anyway, I know today.
I mean, like what you just said with, to me, that's like, you're taking care. It's, I know I won't be able to eat later because it's too late. So I'm taking care of myself by eating now. I'm maybe not as hungry yet, but I am taking care of myself because later it may be too late and I maybe not want to eat then at all, or I eat too much. So to me, that's part of intuitive eating, is just like really just being aware of it and thinking about it, which it sounds like you are doing. Maybe a bit hard on yourself.
Okay, well now I know that is what I'm doing. Then that feels better. So we are talking about mindful eating again today, and we agreed that we would run through the mindful eating exercise, and specifically one involving chocolate. Which, what's quite funny is here's my chocolate just for the record.
Nice.
What I read a book recently, an audio book actually, and it was all around the topic of eating, and the professor said that he did this exercise with chocolate with groups of overweight people who were trying to get a handle on eating more mindfully, and he said, some of them were really quite concerned about the idea of you know eating chocolate at all. And to be
Yeah.
honest, you know what I thought, because I do have this sort of thing that if it's in the packet and I haven't opened it, then it will stay there for quite a while, potentially. But that once the wrapper is revealed and all is undone, then there's a chance that I could run rampant with this chocolate. So I did have that thought before I joined you, I must confess.
Oh, okay. That if once it's open, the minute we're finished, you're gonna finish the whole block. You can, but I'm gonna give you an hour to eat it. So you just have to eat it really slowly and see how far you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, not to steal your thunder, because this is, something that
No.
you are expert on. So I have my chocolate as we agreed. It's still in a cardboard, and then there's a wrapper inside of that. So, where do we begin with this?
It's very, very beautifully wrapped. Yeah, I think let's do the practice together, and then see what, be curious about what evolves. And yeah, I think the intention, I mean, I'll talk a little bit more towards the end about how we can apply that into our daily lives, because we can't apply everything we eat, sit and spend 30 minutes on one bite. But the main intention of this is bringing awareness to the act of eating with focused attention. And also in that breath, also bringing awareness to our bodies, so the physical sensation of eating, but also where we're at before we start eating, and also the actual, the act of eating it. What does it feel like? Anyway, so I'm going to stop talking now about that, and I think let's just start the practice. So firstly, I would suggest making a definite change in your position. So just sitting up with your back away from the chair and your feet firmly planted into the ground. And just, if it's okay for you to close your eyes or just lower your gaze, and just taking a deep breath in, and then just a long, slow exhale out. And just repeating that. And a long out breath. And now bringing awareness to your actual tummy area, your abdominals, to sense how hungry are you. Like, think about it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely ravenous and 1 being really satisfied you've just eaten, and 5 being, comfortable in the middle. So just kind of in your mind's eye, just kind of thinking, where am I on that scale? And then bringing awareness to, what is my emotional state right now? Is there a sense of contentment, agitation, tiredness? And then we've got the chocolate in front of us, and just kind of thinking or noticing what comes up for you when you think about this piece of chocolate or the bar of chocolate that's in front of you. What is your feelings around this? Or what thoughts even come up when you're thinking about this chocolate? Is it, I'm going to finish all of it when I start, or I don't really like orange? Just noticing what is present. And also noticing, what are the body sensations right now? Is it mouth starts watering as you're thinking about the chocolate? Maybe the heart is racing at the anticipation. So just bringing awareness to whatever is here right now. And then when you're ready, just opening the eyes and still keeping this connection with the body and with this mindful awareness. Imagine you are an alien that's landed from outer space, and you walk in the street and you see this shape lying on the floor, and you pick it up. So I invite you to pick it up now and really looking at it as if you've just never seen something like this before. So you are investigating the colors, maybe holding it up towards the air, the sky, and you can see the light changes where there's all these shiny bits. And maybe spending a bit of time just actually looking at some of the information and all the writing.
Is that the door?
Open the door.
Somebody at the door.
And then when you're ready, just slowly opening up this really strange wrapper that you've never seen before, and just taking some time to do it with real care, feeling the paper, and then opening up the tin foil, and really listening to the sound of the paper as you're opening it and the noise in my house.
Quite tricky to open.
Once you've opened it,
Hang on.
you break off a piece of your chocolate.
Here's one I made earlier. The wrapper seems to be somewhat impenetrable on this.
It really.
That's part of the joy. I might have to get my teeth involved. Hang on.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I still can't do it. Oh dear. This is when you don't. This is when those television programs where they've got children and animals and props, and
It doesn't go according to plan.
I really am going to have to be very imaginative because
Oh my gosh, they've really closed that up, haven't they?
it's plastic and for some. Hang on, I'm going to try another way. Oh, I've done it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Oh my gosh, the smell of that. Oh.
Yeah, so that's amazing, right? So really, and that's maybe a wonderful way of keeping the smell inside. So with continue with that curiosity of the smell of this very strange object that you have in your hand that you've never seen before. And now that you've managed to get inside this strange object, which they've kept very secure, is break a piece off, how big ever. Oh, there you go, and place it in your hand. Now it may start melting a little bit because it is. Oh, where's my hand? Oh, there. And really investigate it with curiosity, looking at the color, the intensity. Maybe it has little bits in it. Maybe it has a sign on or a little, the little logo on or a little picture. As if you've never seen this in your life before. And now what you did before as well, just really noticing the smell of it.
Well, if I'd never seen it before, I would still like it.
Amazing. Well, notice all of that. Notice the fact that this is nice. It's starting to melt, and I may like this. And then taking it in 2 fingers and just bringing it close to your lips, and just really sensing the texture of it against your mouth. And notice what's happening in your mouth as you're bringing this as your body's preparing to eat. You may notice saliva being produced. And also notice what the mind is doing. The mind, as you're holding this really strange object in your hand, you've smelt it. You've never seen it before, so you have no preconceived ideas about it, but still just notice what your mind is doing. And then when you're ready, put it in the mouth. You may want to bite a piece off. And allow it to just roll around your tongue, really sensing it, really noticing the flavors. Maybe mine has little bits of nuts in, so I can feel that. Notice what the mouth is doing as it's producing saliva. And try to seeing if you can just allow it to melt. But if you want to, if there's a bit left over, maybe taking a bite. And also just noticing the explosion of flavors and what is happening. And because this is quite melty, you may have already started swallowing. But also notice what happens in the mouth as you're swallowing this, and what's happening in the throat even. And now just even if you feel okay to close the eyes and just really sit with that flavor for a moment of, the sweetness. What was it like for you? And then maybe asking the question of, do I want any more? Was this enough to satisfy me? Just investigating a little bit about having enjoyed a very small piece of something that is very delicious.
Mm.
So what did you notice from doing all of that?
Well, I wasn't particularly hungry when we began because I had just had a morning snack, and I kind of did that on purpose, actually. I, the smell though, taking the time with the smell was something that I would not normally do. The packet is open, it's in the mouth, and we're off. I certainly wouldn't have appreciated the aroma, and actually, it was almost sufficient in itself. But I hesitate to say that, but and and sitting with it in your mouth and really. It's a bit like, for me, chocolate especially, the first piece doesn't touch the sides normally. And so it's only when you get to the second bit that you sort of, you know what I mean? So now, having got to the end of that, I realized I wasn't hungry to begin with, so I'm not hungry for more.
Yeah.
I really savored and enjoyed it and feel like I don't need any more. And that, it would be nice to do that again at a later date, but perhaps not to, go bonkers and consume the whole bar before the day is out, which might have happened previously. So yeah, it's and approaching it as something that you've never seen before, something even seen. The brown kind of cube, although mine was triangular. The brown cube was quite incongruent with the aroma, say, for instance. And it's interesting that if you saw a brown cube, you may not be drawn to it. In the same way. So and it is that association, the fact that we know what it is and how we like it, that you sort of get past that hurdle of the chocolate brown. I call it chocolate brown. If I was an alien, I don't know what I would call it. Leather brown. I don't know. But yeah, it is fascinating, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Like you said, we can't go through the whole of our day treating everything that we encounter in this way. But I think the intuitive eating was the thing that I was talking about, feeling that, how is it that I persuade myself to crave things like salad and, without dressing or...
And so it's very much that sense of when we actually, because when we're on autopilot and we're just rummaging through our day, going from one place to the next, and you don't stop to think, am I really hungry, or how am I actually feeling right now? But like you say, the chocolate's open, I'm stressed, I've got 20 things to do. It's so much easier it's so easy to just grab a piece of chocolate or finish the whole bar without paying any attention to it. And, we have millions of examples of that when we're driving, when we're watching TV, when we're working. There's always these opportunities to eat very mindlessly. And it's not just chocolate, it's everything, right? But even really I mean, something I really hand on heart never eat is like a McDonald's burger or something like that. But I think because I eat really slowly, and you can really taste that the food, just for me, just doesn't taste very well. And I know they've done experiments with people. It's like you can eat as many takeaway hamburgers as you want, and there's obviously varying degrees of quality and taste and all of that. But you are not allowed to finish this within half an hour. So that slowing down and tasting it, people then really start noticing that actually I really don't like this. I don't like the flavor, I don't like the texture. And that is why once you've really sensed that and noticed that, and practice that, then the idea is that over time you will just intuitively know, I don't want that because I don't actually like it. But because we never eat food like that slowly and set at a table with a vase of flowers and music playing, it's usually, just there's a reason why it's this size and it comes in a perfectly contained little container. You can just eat it and throw it away. So yeah, really interrupting that autopilot and start paying attention to how the body's feeling, the emotional state, and to the actual food as well.
Yeah, well, I think, what was interesting, we didn't talk, I didn't mention feelings. You did ask me about that. And, I was feeling jittery and tired at the same time. So tired is a feature, I'm afraid. But
Yeah,
and what's quite interesting is that sometimes the jitteriness drives you to chocolate, but today it was the chocolate, that chocolate presence that I hadn't planned for. Well, I mean, we had, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
That kind of was potentially fueling that sensation. So, the idea of the bidirectional nature,
yeah,
so that, things that we crave, when we're in a particular mindset, a mind state, it could be alcohol, it could be, fatty food, the burgers you were just talking about,
yeah,
or perhaps chocolate. You know, uh, which is it? The chicken and
yeah,
egg situation,
yeah,
and so separating that out, realizing that there is an association
yeah,
between how you feel and the kind of things you reach out for.
yeah,
That's a powerful thing, isn't
yeah.
it? And
Definitely. And that what you just said about the tiredness, that's such an important
yeah,
feedback from the body, right? But if you don't pay attention to it, you may just oh gosh, everything's going off this morning. All the phone, the watch, the everything. If we don't pay attention to it, then we don't know why we're doing what we're doing. Whereas if you sit with it and go, I am tired, my body is fatigued, I'm tired, and aware of the fact that what the body needs when it's tired is high energy, high sugar, easily digested foods to give you energy. But if you're aware of, again, I'm tired,
yeah,
you can take care of yourself in a different way rather than going for the default, which is croissant, coffee, bacon sandwich. Da, 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 da.
yeah. Rather than seeking the prop, find a solution.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But all of this takes practice, isn't it? And it's yeah, it's just that awareness. I went for a run this morning, and I've been doing your classes, so I was really kind of paying attention to my abdominals and to my breathing while I was running. And it's just the tiny little thing of just planting a seed and bringing awareness to things that we do on a day-to-day basis, isn't it?
That's right. It's embedding it into everything that we do, and
Mm.
I'm a bit like you. I was doing some Pilates at the bar this morning, which is my latest
The
fun.
bar.
Yeah, You know, like
Oh, and
ballet,
the like a
ballet type.
I see.
Yeah, no, not that bar.
Bar were you at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning?
No, the ballet bar.
Nice.
BARRE. And, and so I was kind of dissecting, as I always do when I do any kinds of movements, what is it that I'm called upon to use when I'm doing this plie, deep plie, when I'm reaching my arm out and leaning or swinging my leg up in the air, whatever I'm doing. And, I was called to just think of uh, going about your day, noticing that, just loading the dishwasher, putting washing in the machine. These are all opportunities. Vacuuming.
Yeah.
I was vacuuming yesterday and and for a bit I did it with my left arm because I thought this is all one armed. I'm going to do a bit with my left. So yeah, everything's an opportunity. Every moment of every day, if we can be present for
Yeah.
more of the time. We're not going to manage it every minute, are we? It's just not possible. But just for more of the time to
Mm.
this
Yeah.
word into every moment
Yeah.
and live it. Really live it.
Yeah. And I think coming back to the food again and chocolate, which can be such a forbidden food for many. It's like, oh no, it's bad, it's evil, I shouldn't. There's so many rules attached to it. It's, diet culture will make us believe that this chocolate will make you fat. And yes, it will if you eat 2 bars a day and you just sit on your backside, it will. But if you give yourself permission to eat it and to enjoy it and to really savor it, your body's very wise and clever. It'll eventually go, it's sweet, like noticing the sweetness and go, don't actually want that because and it may take time. And this is what happens a lot of times when people start doing it, is it's like saying to someone who loves pizza, okay, you can have pizza breakfast, lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Eventually they're going to get sick of it. But they almost have to go through that phase of just overdoing it. It's a bit like going on holiday, isn't it? And then by the end of the holiday, you're like, oh, I can't bear another meal out. And like, I just want to have my home cooked food.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, isn't it? It's for me, I suppose it's all quality over quantity. Consider the sources of your nutrition. And that the 80-20 rule is the other thing. So, what you do for the bulk of the time is what really makes the difference.
Yeah.
And life is for living, and we do want to have enjoyment, and sometimes that does come from food. So,
yeah, I think, well, definitely in my household, it's all connected to that. And I think, something I missed out, you just said it and I completely forgot about it. But yeah, really to, when you do look at the labels or when you look at your food, is also thinking about where it comes from, who produced it, who are you supporting? Like we don't live in the Stone Ages anymore. We're very aware, and I think it's important to make that part of the whole process is, who are you supporting? How are you supporting them? And saying there's some kids that's on quarantine, so they are very happy.
what that is. I thought it wasn't school holidays just yet.
No, they've had to self-isolate because, anyway, that's another story.
Well, I think that's a moment at which we will say goodbye. And thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed my noonday chocolate. And so we'll get together again, and we'll explore other avenues, how we can really bring mindfulness into as many minutes of every day as we possibly can. So thank you so much, Suné.
Thank you, Philippa.
Take care. Have a fabulous day. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.